piece by piece, social impact assessment. We've talked about this, but we use the ESHA process, and we take the social impact assessment process, and we assess where, and we don't do this just on capital projects, by the way. So if we're in an operating environment, we'll do an informal SIA just to understand what we're up against. So in employment and procurement, the positive effects of a project might be jobs and contracts, leading to increased income, economic development opportunities, skills. The negative impacts are unrealistic expectations that we might be creating for that population. And then when we have to, when the construction of a project is done, then there's a demobilization of the workforce. What do you do with those people? Population changes, economic growth, increased tax base, upgraded services are all positive impacts of a project like ours in a community. The negative impacts are stresses on public services or the natural resources or the environment, and increases in conflict due to creating tensions between maybe competing community groups. And then social and cultural change. Change management, I spend a lot of time with change management in my own organization and in these projects. Big projects coming into a community is a huge change management component. And so the positive impacts are that if we do this right, we get enhanced organizational capability and better networks within the community. And if we don't, we're going to disrupt cultural stabilities and maybe socioeconomic stability in the community. That's just not where we want to be. So we need to understand the impacts. Then we design a strategic social investment strategy. We look for sustainable partnerships. We look for, again, the nexus between business value and social value. We have moved away from pure philanthropy into what we call multi-stakeholder partnerships. I gave a talk about a month ago in Washington, D.C., a conference on public-private partnership. I was on a panel with the head of partnerships at the UN, the head of the U.S. Red Cross, the head of the partnership program at USAID, and a couple of other panelists, and the topic was partnership. And I made this exact point, is this is not about public-private partnerships, this is about multi-stakeholder partnerships. Us, the government, USAID, NGOs, coming together, common purpose, common ground, to develop a social investment strategy that makes sense in a community and that will have real and lasting impacts. And we focus on health, education, and economic development. We've looked at this a dozen different ways, no matter how we cut it. Sort of our focal points globally are these three areas: programs in health, programs in education, programs in economic development.